been doing a great deal to assist these asylum seekers. But the federal government can and should do more. That is why I support additional funding for the shelter services and program in the supplemental budget to give additional resources to New York and other cities welcoming migrants. Unfortunately, House Republicans seem set on defunding the Department of Homeland Security and shutting down our government. I also led a letter with Immigration Subcommittee Ranking Member Jayapal and over 100 of our colleagues to urge the administration to use all the tools available to them to provide stability to asylum seekers and undocumented immigrants in our communities. The administration has the flexibility to provide faster access to employment authorization documents and to protect families by redesignating Venezuela for temporary protected status. I was proud to join Ms. Escalates' bipartisan letter regarding this common sense idea. The problems that led to Venezuela's previous designation in 2021 remain pervasive today. The solutions my colleagues and I are advocating for are squarely within the administration's purview and will benefit us all. Immigrants make America strong, and nowhere is that clearer than right here in New York. In a city that's always changing, the one constant is that people from around the world want to come here to build.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So I found something that you probably never expected, and it's just the latest installment of You Get What You Vote For. So Bill Clinton apparently is going head-to-head with some of the Democratic Party's crazier ideas and coming around to just a tiny, tiny bit, just a sliver so far, but just a tiny bit of common sense. And amazingly, especially when it comes to New York City's sanctuary city laws. So New York City, I'm sure you guys have all seen, has ended up right in the middle of it. So apparently there's a law on the books in New York City that says the city has to offer shelter to the homeless. And even those just arriving, which of course sounds great, sounds virtuous, sounds amazing, but it's just another example really of, you know, the silly things that enlightened liberals with no real life experience come up with when they're sitting around their multi-million-dollar apartments figuring out how to save the world from those evil, greedy Republicans. And sure, you know, the idea behind it, it's genuinely good-hearted, you know. They wanted to help the homeless. That's great. But in the real world, no good deed goes unpunished, and things have gotten really, really complicated for New York City. And I don't think they accounted, honestly, I don't think that they accounted for Biden's open border policies, which hilariously, I don't know, a little side note, but did you guys just see that Alejandro Mayorkas has just declared the immediate need for a physical structure at the Texas border? He says it's so important that they should ignore or overlook whatever dozens of federal laws would actually slow them down. And, you know, they're finally coming around, but still hilariously can't even say the words border and wall together at the same time. But anyway, back to New York. So they've got a lot on their plate, obviously, and their citizens are finally waking up to exactly, you know, what it is that they've been voting for. And they're predicting that it's going to cost them around $12 billion next year alone just to handle all this. And that's an insane number. And to think that, you know, the immigrant population that they're talking about is about 90,000 people so far out of the millions and millions that have come through since 2020. You know, it's enough to damn near break, you know, 90,000 is enough to break the wealthiest, most vibrant city in our entire country. Just think about that. Just think about that. So apparently, you know, Bill Clinton has been thinking about that, and he had a lot to say. So let's hear from the old guy. But before we do, guys, thanks so much to everyone that's been subscribing and leaving such great comments. We're building a great community. If you haven't joined us yet, make sure you do. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. Let's have a look at what old Slick Willie's got to say.
The real problem they've got now in an emergency is that is not the people that were sent up here from Florida and Texas, by and large. It's the huge number of Venezuelans who have showed up because of the collapse of the Venezuelan economy. And under American law, going back for decades, I mean, way before any of this current fight started, we have always had a blanket offer of entry into America for people who have a reasonable fear for the lives and safety of their families and themselves. And so a lot of the Venezuelans can easily make that case, but they come in here, and under the current law, they have to wait 6 months for a work permit. Now, very few of them do. About 80% of the people who come to New York and to Massachusetts, the two states with right to shelter laws within the state, although I see Governor Hochul thinks it should be modified, and it probably should under the current circumstances. It's just because they come up here and we're supposed to shelter people who can't get work permits for 6 months. And there's just we need to change that. We need to, if they want to work, they need to be working, paying taxes, and paying their way. And most of these people have no interest in being on welfare for themselves or their families. They want to work, and they're not allowed to under the system as it now works. It's broken, and we need to fix it. We need to rush through these things. And because all these people, I mean, even in Florida, where the climate seems to be hostile, there's this very large number of immigrants working to help clean up after storms, because Florida has so many of them. And they go in and clean the house, sort what's savable and what's not, and help people get started again. And they work for Lord knows what they get, maybe $100 a day or something. But it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So yeah, man, finally, man, my entire adult life, I finally found some common ground with Bill Clinton. You know, he says it doesn't make sense for the city to provide shelter for folks who might be waiting around for 6 months or more for work permits. And he's got a point. What he's saying is, why aren't we letting these people work and contribute while they're here? And like I said, he's got a good point. You know, these people, they really aren't coming here looking for handouts. There's a million darn reasons that they're coming. And I'm not saying it's good that they're coming. I definitely don't think that. But they're not coming for handouts. They're not coming to live off New Yorkers. But if someone's going to offer up free cash and free housing, they'd be foolish to turn it down in a new place. So why turn them into subservient dependents? You know, and really, man, this isn't just about New York City's budget or their housing. It's about how it all looks on the national stage. You know, Clinton pointed out that the whole situation, especially in cities like New York, is a bad look. But let's not get it twisted. You know, this is for Democrats, you know, a bad look for Democrats. So look real closely between the lines here, what he's actually saying. The Democrats, especially the powerful ones, they only care about the negative impact of their bad policy when it makes them look bad. And let me know in the comments your thoughts on that. But it's not just Bill Clinton. You know, other big names like Lewis Martin, who's one of the main advisors actually for Mayor Adams, and even Governor Hochul, crazy old Governor Hochul, are letting slip similar views. You know, Martin mentioned that New York City shouldn't be the sole caretaker for migrants based on some age-old shelter law. And he's probably right, but that's not our fault. And both Governor Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams, they pointed out that the, intention was to help the homeless, not necessarily cater to, Biden's bad border decisions, So it does sound like they're slowly coming around, but sadly, guys, with millions already invited, millions already incentivized to come, and thousands of people have already died on our southern border as a result, and who knows how many American citizens from the fentanyl epidemic, it's all too little too late, and really these people, they don't seem to care at all about the humanitarian aspect of it or about the actual true human cost. They care about the optics, they care about the budget, and the fact that they're losing control of the narrative, and their voters are starting to actually ask for some accountability. Anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.